Hey everyone, it's Oakley, and we're going to be discussing Total War 3 Kingdoms. In this video specifically, we'll be talking about a new mechanic called the Battlefield Duel. That's just the core of this episode. I'm going to be putting up other videos that discuss heroes in general, what we know about them, going over what the different types and subclasses are, recruitment, technology, items, etc. And then I'll be doing another video here on sieges. But with that being said, let's dive into this specific topic. So, Battlefield Duels. Well, CA just announced that there's going to be an entirely new mechanic. And this is all going to be tied around your commanders. As a reminder, there's 3 different commanders, or up to 3 commanders slash heroes that you can bring into a battle. Each is going to be commanding a certain portion of your army that's going to be their retinue. So anyways, once you get into battle, Eurogamer says that at just about any time, you can click on this duel button, and it'll bring up options of commanders that can be dueled. Now, when you select one of these commanders, essentially what happens is that the 2 forces are going to then ride up against each other, and apparently soldiers are going to move out of the way. No one else can engage during this time, and then the 2 commanders are going to be matched in combat. The camera is going to zoom in, and the commanders are then going to duel until one of them is either killed or one of them runs away. So that is fairly interesting. Was not expecting this one. It is definitely, I don't want to say historical, but it's definitely in sync with how Romance of the Three Kingdoms worked out. Basically, in all the descriptions of the battles, they open up with the armies basically advancing, facing off against each other. One of the main generals rides out to the front, challenges the opponents, and then the other generals essentially then send out their top generals or other famous warriors, and they'll kind of like in front of the battle lines, swipe at each other, and then depending on how many passes they take at one another in their like cavalry lance duels is how epic the battle is. So sometimes someone will charge up and be killed in the single first swipe. At other times it talks about how there would be 50 passes and there would be an indecisive combat. At other times there's this one commander who's killing tons of foes until ultimately the other side sends like 3 people, like Liu Bei and his brothers, against them. So this is all kind of the historical or at least romantic backdrop of this mechanic. So yeah, CA seems to be going all on this. We'll talk a little bit about what my impressions are, but to continue fleshing out what they state here, CA says that, once the commanders do lock in and they're going to be in this combat, you can still influence what's happening. So the way you'll be doing that is by pressing any active abilities that your commander might have, and they stated previously that commanders are going to be different subclasses, so you might have some that are more combat oriented that will be more tanky, whereas others are a bit more strategically oriented, and they'll have different active abilities that can perhaps negate each other's buffs or bounce off each other or have like a rock paper scissors effect. So that'll all be interesting. So it's going to be a very weird departure from what we've seen previously, where now you have commanders locked into combat and you're going to be like button mashing to try and see the outcome of battle. I mean, I guess it's not too different from when you have like elite units in Warhammer facing off and you're waiting for abilities to come off of cooldown. It's coming to something similar to that, but for single units, so maybe it's not that different, but it's going to be weird that the camera's locked in on them. So yeah, that happens. And CA, in the context of this kind of duel, what they say is that this is a big step up from their match combat system. So the match combat system as it works currently is you have 2 units that get within proximity. They will then shuffle and then kind of end up in a sync combat animation where then they'll go through different loops where someone takes a swipe and the other dodges, or the attack hits and someone dies or they're wounded, and there's different things like that. But these are little instances that loop over time. CA says that they're taking a step up for this, and they actually brought in real martial artists, so it seems like the combat is going to be a bit more fluid in this sense and less shuffling about and getting into the right position. But that's all in theory. In practicality, I have a lot of concerns about how this battle will work. So for instance, if the forces are running at each other, how do we know that pathfinding will work out correctly? What if they engage on some weird slope or on some stairs or around a corner? Is this going to mess with the combat? How is this all going to work? It's very bizarre. And then will this really break up the flow of combat? What if I'm in the middle of my battle and I'm really interested in turning the flank with my cavalry, and then all of a sudden I get sucked into the center because my general has been challenged? Do my cavalry stop flanking? What if they're taking archer fire? Are they going to continue to just stand there and take archer fire? Does the entire battle go on pause? All of this is very interesting. On top of the fact that in the Eurogamer article, they seem to indicate that you can initiate a duel at any point in time. So that has a lot of concerns for me when it comes to, for instance, balance in the campaign and the late game. So let's say, for instance, you have your Lu Bu and you've teched him up really, really high, so he's just an absolute beast in combat. What's to prevent you from getting into a battle and just, boom, right off the bat, spamming that duel button? And because he's so powerful, and because no one else can participate in battle, he's just going to go and seek out the enemy commander and kill him. Is there a cooldown on this? Because what's important about this is the commander that loses this duel, either if he dies or if he flees, it'll have a pretty big morale debuff on his specific retinues. So, that makes sense if, it's a tightly contested battle and, oh my god, the commander died, his retinue is concerned. Yeah, that seems fair. But if you can do it right off the bat, it's basically a Fate of Juna general sniping to the extreme, where there's not even a skill in dodging it. It's just, boop, click the button, and I'm going to kill your lord, and now you're going to mass route. So that is my main concern with this. I'm really worried about, one, that general sniping potential of this duel, and then two, the pathfinding to make it actually work. And then three, I guess the last point is going to be, is it going to be actually interesting enough to watch over and over and over in every single battle? Yes, I'm sure the first time around the combat is going to look cool. It'll be almost like, those old videos we had in Medieval 2 of the spy or the assassination actions. They were all really pretty cool and funny and interesting for the first couple times, but then they really drag on for a while. So maybe there'll be a way to auto-resolve a duel or do something like that to speed it up. But yeah, I have a lot of concerns about this duel. I mean, it sounds fantastic, but it's definitely going to be a big hurdle to get over. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this specific duel mechanic. I'm very interested to know what you think, if it's worth the gamble for CA and how this will work out. And is it even going to be something that's offered in the classical version? Is it something that's just in the romantic version? I would assume so. Or is it something that happens in like the classic version as well, where maybe the general would bring in their bodyguard as well, and then it's just the general and his bodyguard dueling? It's all kind of questions that we have to wait to see answered. So yeah, we'll wait for those. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.